Okay, this is our little next YouTube video. I hope the audio comes in correctly. I'm trying to do it through an app and then get it in the software. This is about electrical service panel, and I want to give some relevant information for when you get a bill. I do not want anybody going in this box and trying things. It's a really bad idea. You have to be a qualified personnel or an electrician. I'm speeding this first part up, and I want you guys to see me take the faceplate off. So we go inside. There's nobody helping me make this video. I've changed breakers, done things like that. So I just want you guys to see firsthand that I'm actually doing this and making these points out to you guys. All right. Hope you guys enjoy the video. I hope you guys are safe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Okay, you guys, this is our little next YouTube video. I'm probably going to speed up the first part so you don't have to put up with that boring stuff. We got a lot going on here. Hoping I can get everything in play. If not, I will adjust the camera accordingly, okay? Let me see if I can add a little extra light in here. I think that might help me out a little bit. Over there, okay? So we can see a little bit better, hopefully. What kind of pointer do I have here with me? Don't have very much, and I didn't type good enough, so I guess we use a screwdriver. You can see I have gloves on. First thing is first, this video is not for do-it-yourselfers. It is basically just for basic information. I'm not trying to illustrate what to do. I'm just going to give you information. So if you have qualified personnel or electrician is going to do work for you, maybe he gives you a description, you can understand his description of what he's talking about. Okay? I don't have the paper with me. I left that in the car too. Not doing too good. Please remember, this is not for do-it-yourselfers. This is basically a description of what you're looking at, and that's all it is. I'm not trying to get you to start changing breakers or doing anything in here. First thing is first, this guy is live. This guy is not, how you say, definitely not unplugged. So this is where it gets dangerous real fast. So let's see what we got here on these two coming in. Hopefully you get that. It says 244.2, so that's the voltage coming in. If I want to check on the neutral side, which of course this is a little difficult because I got to hold the meter so you guys can see it. So let's try that. And then check each leg. 121.9 and 122 on the other leg coming in 0.2. Okay, so that's just telling me that this is live. Okay, this is a very large service panel. I'm not going to even try to guess how many amps. It's a lot. Probably more than 300. Might be a 400 amp service panel. I don't know. I'm not an electrician. I'm a service manager, building superintendent for 22 years. And yes, I've changed breakers and stuff like this. And so I just want to break it down for you a little bit, okay? The best I can. You see a lot of wires here, and it can be a little confusing at first, but these two coming in, the large ones that you saw me test the voltage, they are where the power actually comes into the unit. Okay, this one here, the middle one that's semi-white, is the neutral. So there's a bar that goes across, and all this bars here, this is the neutral bar, picks up all the neutrals. Okay, actually you have a second set, goes to both sides to pick up neutral. So you have a neutral bar here, and normally I don't see that. Normally I'll see one neutral bar, and then I'll see a ground bar. Okay, you can also see a silver line. Can you guys see that in the image? I probably have to pick the camera up a little bit. I'm sorry. Let's see if I can pick it up a little bit. The wrong button. This one here. I need you guys to see this. Yes, you can see. I believe you can see it now. Okay. Up here, there's a bare wire, all aluminum. Location I'm at, they use aluminum wiring. Other places they're going to use copper wiring. It's bare here, so we got 4 wires coming in from one. For the supply for this box and the return. There's bars here on the bottom. Those are for all the grounds. Okay, so you got your hot. Sometimes you see this black. Sometimes you see blue tape on there, or red tape on there, letting you know you have 1 leg, 2 leg, 3 legs would be 3-phase, so on. Okay, neutral, hots, and ground. Neutral bar. Ground bar is here, hidden underneath the wires. I can see it, you guys can't see it, but maybe you can see a bare ground wire going to bar here. I don't want to play with the box too much because everything is live. Okay, now that you understand the power is coming in, it's going through the breakers. The breakers are usually on a clip, or they have somewhere where they might hook in, like right here on the bottom where you guys were looking at, down here. There's you can see a line, look like rails where they clip in and then they snap into a bar that's connected to these legs right here, the supply. These bars, I believe, are called bus breaker bar, where the breaker actually snaps into, gets power from the line coming in, or the legs coming in. Then you got power going out from the breakers to different devices, whether it be outlets, lights, switches, so on and so forth. Okay. From there, you plug in your stuff. Use your switches for whatever it is you're going to use, whatever kind of equipment you're using. A lot of the wires here are, these are 20 amp. If it's 20 amp, you'll see 12 gauge wire coming out of it. If it's 15 amp, you usually see a 14 gauge wire coming out of it. You don't want to take a 15 amp breaker and put a 20 amp breaker where it's only a 14 gauge wire. That's like big mistake. Okay, forget about all that, because you can heat up the wire, you can cause a fire. It's against code, at least from up north where I'm from. I hear different things from different people, but definitely suggest against it. Okay, so all the neutral wires going back to the wherever the power is coming from. Over here we have transformers that go to a transclosure that go to the power supply company. So I'm not good enough to tell you how all that's connected, but I believe the power is supposed to come in, supposed to go to the neutral and go back to its supply. Okay, and there's other things in the way there. All right, but that's the general description I got when I first started years ago. If you're gonna turn off a breaker, you should, if you're gonna pull a breaker, you should turn it off, and then it should snap out. This one here is actually being used. I just turned it off, and it just popped out just now. And then there should be a hook here, and you notice I got my gloves on. And okay, this one is okay. There it is. Okay, so this clips there. It has to go in there. So now you know how it goes. You have to actually push it in. I can get it lined up. This one's a little bit tricky. Just give me a second. It's not what I'm actually used to. Okay, that one just went in. Now I can put the power back on. You should never pull a breaker in or out with the power on. You should turn the breaker off. When you have a problem with a breaker and you're going to reset it, you should turn it fully off and then turn it back on. Okay? Because sometimes the breaker will throw, and some breakers don't reset unless you fully turn it off to turn it back on. If you reset the breaker and it goes off twice, like in a row, I wouldn't try to reset the breaker. I would get qualified personnel to tell you what the issue is, especially if it happens like in seconds. You turn it off in a split second, it turns back, you turn it on, it turns off again by itself. It's telling you have an issue in the circuit, and you need qualified personnel to help you figure it out. Do not keep resetting the breaker. You're going to heat it up inside. I don't know how these particular ones work. Originally, when I first started, they had like a spring inside, and the current got too hot, and it would expand, and the breaker would trip. So I can't tell you exactly what's inside these breakers, how exactly they work. Another thing you can do, you can test your power, make sure you got power coming in. If you got one leg down, it's broken street side, you got an issue. You got to find out why that leg is broken, why you have no power. Okay, and you will see some heavier breakers here. This is a 40 amp, and the wires are very big, and so I'm thinking this is a double 40 amp, because there's two of them here, and I'm thinking this is for the AC unit. That's why these wires are so much thicker than, per se, the other wires here. That is definitely not, I don't know what that is. It could be an 8 or 10, I'm not sure, but they're definitely heavier so they can carry more current. Okay? Hope you guys got all that information already. Some of the issues I've run into, oh my God. I've seen people take neutral wires, put them on the ground, and then I had to figure it out. Somebody played with the box. I've seen people take 240 volt dryer plug, put it in here, and they put it on one leg and they couldn't figure out why it didn't work. They didn't understand that they have 120, 120 to get 240. They had to pick it up from opposite legs. They couldn't put it one breaker on one side. So that was a mistake they made. With the location I'm at, they don't allow those to be used anymore. So we're not allowed to use 240 volt dryers here anymore because it just pulls too much current. In the location I'm at right now. On the bottom, the silver part. Let's try to move the camera again. Okay. On the bottom, the silver part, you can see the breaker bars. The bus breaker bar. Those are actually live. If you touch those, you're in for a not good deal, okay? If you touch those two live wires, you're in for a not good deal, hence the gloves, okay? I've seen electricians come in here and work without gloves. That's their business. They're trained electricians. I'm not. So I don't suggest even looking at this without a glove. I don't even suggest taking the face off without a glove. I have seen where breakers, the bus bar was kind of worn out from age, and usually those are the external ones. On the internal ones, you usually don't see this. There's an internal one. On external ones, you might see a breaker that's hot, and it might be having trouble pulling the current, or be hot because it's not connected properly to the breaker, bus breaker bar, or it's there's something worn out and it just current doesn't flow correctly through it. It has problems with it. So if you see a warm breaker or something, you might have a problem with the bar. You qualified electrician, don't even play with it. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about touching those two, pulling them out, do anything with that. Anything that's bigger than per se 12 gauge wiring for a 20 amp circuit, I usually don't touch. I would touch this if I had an emergency, if I tested it out properly and I figured I had an issue. You can take a meter if you have this, a meter like this, a multimeter. This is a true RMS, a BK precision. And I can do some testing past the breaker, see if the breaker's bad. I can't always tell if a breaker's bad internally just by looking at it. You might not be able to tell that, but you guys just see me pull the breaker out and put it back in, but I did turn the breaker off first. What other issues have I seen? I have seen a dead leg. It was broken street side, and they had to run one from the high voltage step down transformer back into here. The electricians, of course, not me. I wouldn't ask the homeowner to do that. You should get a qualified electrician, not even qualified personnel, electrician. Okay, they know what they're doing with that stuff. They have special gloves, special equipment. They know how to turn the power off at the transformer or the transclosure case. They know what they're doing. Okay, we don't. So let's please not go there. And I've also seen when the leg was dead, they picked up power from both sides, both bus sides, and when they put the dryer on, the dryer transferred the power through the breaker to the other bus, and all the lights went on in the house. And then when they turned the dryer off, all the lights went off. So that was odd. In a unit, a townhouse, I have seen where they zeroed out. I believe that I was told that they were coming from the same source, so there was something wrong with one of the legs. They should never zero out. I should get 240 like I got there. I've seen that when I was doing some sort of diagnostic. You see loose screws. You see anything that's dark or looks like it's arcing and the screw's loose, you can usually tighten it up. If it's frail, the connection doesn't look good, you might have to trim a piece and put it back in. Again, I don't suggest doing any of this stuff. This is just for your information. What the electrician or qualified person I was telling you, he's done and he's charging you for. Okay, so my video is not for do-it-yourself. It's basically for information. When a qualified person hands you a bill, you understand what he's telling you. That's what my video is for, okay? What other issues have I seen? I've seen people put in a line with a large breaker with the wrong size wiring. A host of other issues that I can't quite remember right now offhand, but this is not a place for you to be. This is for qualified personnel. I'm going to end the video very soon and put the panel back on. You guys just see me take it off, so it's not like a bogus thing. I have somebody in here come in and do it. I'm doing this fine, and I do change breakers in here. I would never touch those legs. And if the wire's too heavy, I'd call somebody. Any other conditions I see? Oh, I seen one last condition, a couple of last conditions. Jesus. The neutral, for some reason, was broken. The middle one here was broken street side, past the complex or whatever. or the service panel. And because the grounds were connected to the hot water tank, I was changing the hose and I was seeing a little bit of sparks. Wait a second. I got my meter and I tested the tank, and the electricity was actually traveling through the tank because the grounds were going through the tank. And I was like, okay. So that I called the guy that came in the next day and told me that they had to replace the neutral outside. They had to run a whole neutral leg because it was no good. That was weird. Houses, you will see the water meter usually in the basement, and you will see a bare wire connected to the heavy pipe, and that is where the ground is going through the water. But I've never seen an issue with that. Codes are differently in different places. They don't always look the same. You don't always deal with the same situation. I guess the last thing I'm missing here, I don't have my paperwork to look at again, so I'm doing it off my memory. Usually you see a main breaker, depending upon where you are. They have different codes, and the main breaker is to shut everything off except the legs, and shut the bus bars off, and then you can do whatever you're doing here and turn it back on. Unfortunately here, there is no main breaker. So if you have a main breaker, or you have someone's going to put in a new service panel for you, it would be a good idea to have a main breaker. Do I have anything else for you guys? I can't think of it offhand. I hope it's enough. I hope you don't do anything to get yourself in trouble touching any stuff, but you should. You have to have qualified personnel in here or electrician. Okay. Other than that, please don't touch it. But when you get your bill and he writes stuff down, maybe you can refer to this video and say, okay, I understand what you're talking about. Okay? I don't have anything else for you. I'm going to end the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.